So typically, following a week, I will always put grades in the grade book on the Monday following that week. So this week ended last night at 23:59. So all grades for discussion boards and EAQs will be in the grade book on Monday morning. I typically look at discussion boards several times through the week, and I usually respond to all of those. So you might have gotten your grades a little bit early depending on when you entered those. So for this week, we all did a what is your plan for success for your 435 your leadership hours, and then we looked at chapter 1. All of you were saying, how you plan to, how you're excited to see this side of your nursing clinical experience because it's a little bit different than what you've done. And I want to challenge you on a couple of different things. Watch how those charge nurses, I say they're nimble. Some of my best charge nurses have been very nimble, and they've been able to diffuse problems, and they've been able to triage problems before they became huge problems. They also are very aware of scope of practice, so they know what different people in your team can do according to their scope of practice as outlined by whatever they are, CNA or a CMA or a PA. And then they use them to their fullest advantage, use them to their fullest use. So pay attention to how they do that. I do think that's one of the better things that charge nurses do a lot. And you never have two of the same days as charge, because you'll always have different staff members, and you'll always have different family and different patients that you're seeing. So it's it's a very interesting role, especially those of you who are are doing your leadership hours on the place where you're going to be a resident. Pay attention to those decisions that the charge nurse is making, because it will help you understand some of those decisions that are made when you're the staff nurse. You'll understand the backstory behind why they had to do something. A lot of times it's because of an administrative rule that you weren't aware of. So administration said to do something, so that filters down, and how that charge nurse has to be aware of that. So I wanted to point out that. Then I wanted to point out this. When we're looking at this VUCA in a complex healthcare environment, I have to say I'm truly thankful that I'm on the downhill slide of my nursing career, because it changes so rapidly. The older I get, the less able I think I'm able to keep up with it. So if you look at some of those things, it talks about the volatility, how quickly things change. And we made our nursing skills lab in 2020, and some of the things in the nursing skills lab obviously are already outdated, which is kind of interesting to me. The unexpectedness, what we can't prepare for, what we don't anticipate happening, and then complexity and ambiguity. You can't rigidly define a charge nurse's role, because it's so encompassing. So I'm anxious to see if some of you experience that, and how on one day they might do one thing, on another day they might do it differently, based on the patients that you have and the staff that they have to work with. I know staff demeanors, attitudes, personalities always play a role in how we manage that floor. So factoring that into place is kind of interesting to me. So for this week, we're going to look at quality and safety, which is a huge issue. Quality and safety, trying to minimize those risks to our patients and our staff also. And then some of the ethical issues in nursing, not a whole bunch in that, because you guys have had probably some ethical things woven in between all of your other classes. So we're really going to focus on that quality and safety. And then again, if you don't have any clinical hours this week, make a discussion board post just saying don't have any clinical hours this week, so I can be sure to stay on track with everybody. Let me know if you have any questions.